Now it's day 19 of Russian invasion of Ukraine, and Ukrainian resistance is only holding up. Air raid alerts have been sounded in 19 of 24 Ukrainian regions. Russia has attacked the suburbs of capital city of Kyiv. A town councillor of Brovary has been killed in the fighting as well. In fact, a school in the city of Mykolaiv was hit by Russian missile. Russia was targeted, in fact, it has targeted now key Ukrainian facilities, especially Ukrainian air defense. Russians have destroyed several Ukrainian airfields. Bishop village of Ukraine also came under Russian missile attack, where multiple houses and buildings were damaged. Ukrainian forces have shot down 4 planes and 3 choppers on Sunday.
Неділя, але хто зараз зважає на це? 8 років.
Important about today, about war. We will win. Glory to Ukraine. We were able to evacuate nearly 120,000 people using humanitarian corridors. The main task now is Mariupol. Our diplomatic effort is focused on aid to reach the city.
Росія втратила тисячі одиниць військової техніки.
Let me quickly cut across to Maria Pisorenko from Kyiv, joining us, bringing us all those reports from day 1 of the war in Ukraine. Maria, you're in the capital city of Kyiv, which is target number 1 for Russia, as Russia attempts to encircle the capital city. We hear that one of the residential buildings in Kyiv has been struck at. Give us the casualty or the kind of devastation that you see on ground.
Yeah, right. So the news of this morning were 2 attacks which were conducted at 5 o'clock in the morning. It seems like 5 o'clock in the morning is kind of a sacred time for Russians, because all the attacks, all the terrible attacks in Kyiv are all done around this time, and the war actually has started at 5 o'clock a.m. On 4th of February. So back to this attacks, one target was the residential high-rise building, 9-story building in Obolon district, which is solely residential area. There are no military installations there. So this high-rise building was targeted, and as a result, as a aftermath of this attack, and right now I can also hear the faraway explosions in the sky above me. So I'm now in the city center, and these are clearly the sounds of air defense system working, targeting Russian missiles, hitting them down, because right now...
All right, we're going to try and patch Maria there. Maria is currently in Kyiv. Kyiv, the capital city, has witnessed another strike in a residential area. This is Russia's attempt to widen their strikes on the war-torn country of Ukraine, as negotiations have made no headway. Maria, if you're back with us, could you give us a sense of what's behind you? We want to see the kind of calm. So far, we heard, at least in the last 8 days, there was no attack on Kyiv. There was a lot of movement all around the capital city of Kyiv, with Russian forces regrouping, rearranging all their tanks to try and encircle it in the days to come, but no strikes that were reported. Today, we hear the residential building was targeted. Was it a deliberate target, according to you?
So yeah, right. Sorry for the bad connection. Something is off, but usually the connection is not a problem here in Kyiv for the recent days. So one target was the Obolon residential area, 9-story building, which is in solely residential area, no military installations even close to this place. And we've seen the devastation, terrible pictures coming from that place. We see that the first 2 floors are heavily damaged by the strike of allegedly missile. We are still waiting for the official report of what exactly fell on this building. Was it a hit missile, or was it direct coming of the missile into this building? So still we're waiting to see the confirmation, but the aftermath is clearly is clearly seen, and we can see that the first 2 floors, 2 levels of this building are completely damaged, and the fire started on the 3rd and 4th floor. The fire was continuing for several hours, and for now it is already put down by the fighters, and the number of casualties officially right now is 2 people died in this attack, and at least 7 are injured, 3 of them heavily injured and already taken to hospital. We know also that all in all there were 70 people in this high-rise building, and all of them were evacuated after this attack. And the other target, which was hit today's morning also at 5 o'clock by Russians, is Antonov factory, which is the other part of the city. So Antonov factory is the place where the planes are manufactured, and well-known plane, the biggest one, Mriya, which was destroyed in Hostomel airdrome, was built also in this Antonov factory. So this could be taken as a military installation or the place of double use of civilian and military airplane building, and this factory was also targeted, and we have seen the footage of this place which surfaced on social media, a big like cloud of smoke coming from the ground, a big cloud of dark smoke, so we see the fire starting there. So far, no details about what was hit and the casualties there, but these 2 targets in Kyiv is something we haven't seen for days here in Kyiv. So it was too quiet in Kyiv, and now we see the attacks are back, and the casualties in Kyiv are also the number is rising.
After 8 days of this eerie calm that we saw in Kyiv, as through your eyes and our reporters on ground, we hear that the attacks and strikes are back again in the capital city, which seems to be the #1 target for Russian troops, of course. Thank you very much, Maria. We're going to come back to you time and again. India Today's relentless coverage here on ground, this war-torn country, Ukraine, bringing us all the factual details. Here we're looking at Ukraine's claims now to have busted Russia's invincibility myth, mocking the claim that Russia could capture Kyiv in the next 2 days. Commander-in-Chief of Ukraine Army has said that the myth about invincibility of Putin's army, the army chief pointed out to multiple attacks by the Ukrainian army to have shot down several Russian military tanks and choppers. Ukraine's military chief has said that in the vicinity of Repel, Kharkiv, Ukraine, an anti-craft missile system, TOR, has been shot down by Russian UAV on the altitude of 3,200 meters. Here are some of those images of how Ukraine hit back at Russian military vehicles. In the last 2 weeks, Ukraine has shot down many Russian choppers and aircraft. In Kharkiv, visuals here show how Russian aircraft has been shot down by Ukrainian army. The Mykolaiv, a Russian jet, was, in fact, in Mykolaiv city, a Russian jet was shot down by Ukraine. The jet turned into ashes within minutes. Those are the visuals that you see here on your screens. Quite deadly, really an unprecedented attack on several cities of Ukraine, which now bears a deserted look, many of them now resembling ghost towns, because you have civilians who have fled from those cities in large numbers. Almost inevitably, these cities now coming under control by Russian forces. Not formally, but we know that their advances have been quite progressive in those regions. In Mykolaiv, Ukrainian army has captured Russian military tanks, set them on fire. On the other hand, a suspected Russian drone was shot down in outskirts of Kyiv. In Ochakov city, southern Ukraine, a Russian plane was shot down by the Ukrainian army. In Brovarsky, a Russian army tank was set ablaze after Ukrainians captured the military vehicle there.
On the ground training of the civilians here who've joined up in the Territorial Defense Force, been split into groups and then being taught how to enter territories occupied by the enemy.
Начебто ми маємо нажати. Так. Дві групи готові. Розділились на четвірки, стали в бойову позицію.
How does the deployment take place?
Справа в тому, що у нас є безпосередні блокпости неподалік від нашого тренувального загону. Вони туди вже люди виходять буквально з першого дня. Ми як заїхали сюди вперше, то одразу стали і почали нести службу.
Around the training base there are some points on which guys are already working. As soon as they're finishing all the levels of the trainings, they're going on the first on the red block posts. The best of them are coming together and going on some missions.
Okay, so the best of them go for missions and others are sent to checkpoints. Hide behind bushes, buildings, whatever they can find and move. Ensure that they have all eyes around. That's why you see one person who always has his back to the team, and the one leading then leads them to where they have to go. So they're being trained in how to encircle the enemy from various places and then attack, launch their attack. A very significant and important training, because these very young people from the community, young, old from the community, are going to be sent to various checkposts, and should there be infiltration by the Russians, this is the tactic that they have to employ to ensure that they encircle the enemy and take them down. In one of the undisclosed locations here in the Kyiv Oblast, Geeta Mohan reporting for India Today. We are here at the metro station to see how people over here are taking shelter. If you come from upstairs, it almost feels like there is nobody, but the moment you enter the metro station, they've made their people who these shelters are housing to keep them warm, also to keep them safe. Most of these metro stations now have become bomb shelters as well. So a lot of them living here in the metro station, in the metros. If you see, that's the metro right behind me, and you can see it has become home to a lot of people. So this is the only safety that many have found, a safe place. Metro over here. Living over here to find some warmth is also to ensure that they're safe.
Now, Russia ups the ante against Ukraine. President Zelensky continues to lead from the front. On Sunday, Zelensky visited a military hospital in Kyiv to be meeting with wounded soldiers. These are images that came in with Zelensky now showing his affection towards his people. He's landed up at a military hospital there to try and lift spirits of those who have fought for the nation. Many of them were injured and receiving treatment at that hospital. Zelensky can be seen clicking pictures with those wounded soldiers who are being treated in the hospital.
Як ви, хлопці? Хорошо. Хорошо. Нормально? Нормально. Молодці, дуже круто. Міцні хлопці. Давно?
А нещодавно.
Нещодавно?
5 числа. Ні, 6.
Потерпіння.
Потерпіння. Почала готувати на стіл, накривати будемо.
Чим можемо допомогти?
Ну, стоять, персонал отлично.
Да.